Hey guys, Champask here bringing you another audio commentary today between Grubby, who is the green orc in the 11 o'clock position, and Sonkie, who is the purple human in the 10 o'clock position. This is a replay that just came out from Blizzcon. It just came out today, and it wasn't televised, and it got a fairly good rating, so I thought it would be worth commentating a bit. As you can see, it's on Turtle Rock, and it's close spawn. And I'm sorry that it's close spawn again, because of the three Turtle Rock audio commentaries I've done now, all three have been close spawn. That's not been intentional, it's just been sort of a bit of a fluke, but close spawn always makes for interesting matches anyways. As you can see, Sonkie's gone for a quick lumber mill. This is something that Sky used to do, or Sky invented, and lots of humans started to pick up. And it either means that he's going to go for a quick tower rush, or more likely, I think, a quick tech, because the lumber mill will get his lumber slightly faster. But it does mean that his barracks is going to be slightly later, just because he sends his second peasant to build the lumber mill rather than to build the barracks. And Sonkie's now building an archmage, and Grubby is building a blade master. And Grubby's just sending over a peon now, which is gonna scout the close spawn positions. And it might mean that Grubby plays a bit more defensively as a result. And Sonkie probably will see that peon and will know that it's close spawn, but will want to scout anyways. Yeah, exactly. You always want to scout, even if you know where your opponent is, just to be safe. I mean, there's so many possibilities of strategies that it's always worth just trying one out. And Grubby's actually sending his peon to the middle of the map. I'm not sure if this is because he wants to build a voodoo lounge there. He doesn't have a voodoo lounge up in his base, so he might be building one here, although that would be weird, because if he is tower pushed, that would mean that it would be quite a walk to actually get to the healing that he would need quite urgently. And the Archmage is now coming out, and a bit of militia creeping here. Grubby's now sending his Blade Master towards the middle of the map as well. He's not going for either creeping or a creep jack, which is a bit odd, or to... I would have thought he might have creeped the Ogre Magi, or maybe one of these creeps, but apparently not. He's actually sending his peon here. I think he must have actually missed Sonkie's base. If we just take a look at the Fog of War, yes, he did actually not see that Sonkie was at close spawn position. So Grubby's actually a bit clueless at this point, and he must be a bit confused, just wandering his Blade Master around. And actually gets a bit lucky. He gets the Archmage nearby, and he gets a couple free hits on that. And he had a Grunt nearby as well. Yeah, here's a Grunt, so he might be able to get some blocking and get some extra damage on that Archmage. It's actually a very bad start for Grubby, just because he wasn't paying attention. He didn't send his peon quite far enough, and he is now sending a Grunt just to confirm that Sonkie's base is there and that he hasn't made some sort of catastrophic mistake. And this peon now actually just finally going back, and Grubby's tech already started, and I imagine Sonkie's already started his tech. Yeah, Sonkie's already started his tech as well, and is going about the same speed as Grubby's. And Grubby just sort of scouting around now with the Grunt, because he is busy attacking this Archmage, just putting on some damage. Really, as long as the Archmage is level 1, it's always worth harassing him, because a level 1 Archmage is really useless. Like, you really need the aura to be able to do anything, and so as long as he can keep the Archmage running around and his footman from solo creeping, that's time well spent, even if it means that Grubby stays at 0 experience. And Grubby will now go and buy boots, I imagine, sells his TP, and starts to head out towards the Archmage, but turns around and is now just going to creep the Ogre Magi, and buys a circlet as well. That's very standard, especially against human. And Grubby just now sending his grunts around. You'll notice that he doesn't actually have anything he can creep, so he's just sending them around to look. And what has Grubby picked up? Grubby picked up another Boots of Speed, which he does actually sell rather than keep it for a second hero, which makes a fair bit of sense, but Grubby might actually have been better off to not buy the boots until he actually saw what item he was being dropped, but it's not the biggest loss. I mean, Sonkie now creeping Grubby's turtle camp, and actually just notices the Blade Master before he goes into Windwalk, and manages to dust him so that Grubby won't be able to come for the creep jack. He might be able to get it. Actually, I'm not sure. He's just jumping back and forth a bit, but he's really low health, and so he might be better off just to go and heal and then come back for the giant turtle later, because Sonkie's actually gone and started focus the small turtle, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And now Sonkie dusts again, but Grubby still manages to get in and steal the turtle, but doesn't get the item. That was Sonkie who got the Mantle of Intelligence, and Grubby might actually get the kill on this water elemental as well. Yeah, he does. And so actually no, he didn't. Look at his experience. Sonkie must have denied it. and Sonkie comes in and cancels the salves on Grubby as well, and goes back out. And Grubby, meanwhile, starting his second hero, Shadow Hunter, and also putting up a bestiary. It's very standard stuff. And on Sonkie's side, he's building a Mountain King rather than, for example, a Beastmaster. He's also bringing out a couple militia and 2 Arcane Sanctums. So we're likely to see a couple Sorks, a couple priests, a couple footmen, and then a bunch of militia, and then some towers. And he'll probably push fairly soon, probably as soon as his Mountain King gets out. Grubby coming in for a little creep jack here. Still level 1, so he could use some experience here. And he does actually steal the creep, steal the item, and get level 2, so that's very good for him. And he's actually bringing in 3 grunts now as well. But once he steals that creep as well, he might want to move away because there's just so many militia here. And the Mountain King's going to be coming in soon as well, and that's what he does. And he actually uses a speed scroll as well, so he can get it a bit faster. And his Shadow Hunter's now out as well, and picks up a clarity before it heads out. And Grubby's actually gone for 2 bestiaries and is getting wyverns, so we're likely to see some harass on Sonkie's units, as well as some sort of really intense focus fire on any Sorks or priests that come out, because they do a lot of damage. But you have to be careful with Wind Riders, because if you leave them within range of sort of most of humans' units for any period of time, they will take a lot of damage. For example, water elementals, bolts, the Archmage attack, or either of the 2 casters that Sonkie's likely to be producing at this point of the game will do a large amount of damage to wyverns, and so you should really be careful with them. And Grubby, I don't think he's going to create this camp. No, he just walks past it. And you can see Grubby's put out a little peon here just to scout, really. He wants to know exactly when Sonkie's coming, just with his militia, and actually that's right now. And has he picked up any towers? Not as Mountain King. He's at his shop. Yeah, Sonkie's now picked up 3 ivory towers and is bringing 5-6 militia, about that, into Grubby's base. And Grubby isn't really prepared for this, I don't think. He has maybe one. No, he has a couple Wind Riders. He's brought one into Sonkie's base as well, and that's actually doing some nice harass there. Manages to kill a peon. Will probably just hover over the gold line and kill some more. Meanwhile, in Grubby's base, Sonkie's put up 3 towers, 2 guard towers, and 1 not upgraded yet. And Grubby's just forced to run out of there. He just doesn't have enough units, because Orc, just as a tier 2, is very weak, and you really have to wait a bit of time. And Grubby's actually getting Ensnare as well as Wyverns, but he doesn't have any Raiders yet. So, but presumably he's planning on getting some later. And Grubby runs in his Blade Master, but it immediately gets slowed. I don't think it'll be... No, it isn't surrounded, but he does just bring it inside his base, so that to attack it, you're going to have to go in range of this burrow. And obviously burrows are very effective against casters. And the Blade Master is just beating down a bit on the Mountain King, probably hoping to do a bit of damage now, so that, yeah, when the rest of his army comes, he can just trap it in there and then hopefully kill it eventually. And Grubby taking down a Sork there. That's very important to take down Sorks as soon as you can. And he has a Wyvern in the air, and I think he's probably... Yes, he's still harassing Sonkie's economy and doing a lot of damage, actually. And Grubby forced to run back out of his base. 3 guard towers now up, and it looks like the altar might go down in time. And a Wind Rider here is slowed, and you really have to be careful, because they take so much damage from towers as well as everything else I mentioned. And Mountain King has been ensnared and focused a bit, but the Blade Master does go down, and so it's not looking very good for Grubby at this point. So Grubby decides to speed scroll out. It would be very bad if Sonkie manages to kill the altar, because it'll mean that Grubby probably will have to go to the tavern, which is obviously going to be expensive and not as effective for health. And Sonkie actually running some peasants back now, because he has so few in his base, and Grubby just, with 3 Wind Riders, has managed to completely destroy Sonkie's economy. And Grubby running the rest of his units down there as well. He knows there's not anything he can do in his base. There's just too many towers and too many units, and so he decides to pick off individual units when he can. And Grubby trying to repair this burrow. It's very important to, but he doesn't actually manage to. He's now at 41 out of 30 food, and since he's not reviving his hero at the altar, it means he's not going to be able to get his Blade Master back for a while. At least he's building another burrow, but that's only going to put him up at 41 out of 40, so he's still not going to be at enough, even if he does manage to save that burrow, which he does. And Grubby just moving into Sonkie's base now, putting some damage on the peons, and also taking down that tower, which is quite useful. And because that tower is obviously very effective against Shadow Hunter, and the altar does go down, so it's definitely going to have to be tavern for Grubby. But not only does he not have any units there, he also doesn't have enough food at the moment. Grubby is getting pillage, and in response, Sonkie's just running back home, because orcs can base race better than any other race, really, and so you have to be careful that the damage you're doing is more than the damage you're taking, and Sonkie just wasn't doing enough damage there.